With the clock ticking down on his administration, President Bush continues to rush a last-minute stack of new regulations into law. Each afternoon during this hour, we will let you know about some of the president's so-called midnight regulations, and today it is the Family and Medical Leave Act. The law was passed during the Clinton administration. It allows workers to take unpaid leave for medical and family needs. The Labor Department wants to change the law to deny employees from using paid vacation as a substitute for the unpaid leave and make it tougher for workers to take intermittent leave for things like doctor's appointments. Brad Woodhouse is the president of Americans United for Change, and Alex Johnson is a Republican strategist. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Alex, tell us why this is an important law to change.
Well, first of all, I think at this point of economic peril, we ought to be looking for ways that we can help business survive in these tough economic conditions and give them the flexibility they need to survive. Putting more burdens and increased regulations on business is only going to make it harder for them to try to meet payroll each month. And so what I think they're trying to do is just give those businesses the flexibility they need to survive this economic downturn and make it through to till things get better.
Yeah, and Brett, I mean, we should mention every president does what Mr. Bush is doing at the end of his administration. So is it fair to cry foul just because you don't like the regulations?
Well, Amy, first of all, not every president does it to the scope that this president is proposing to do it. It is projected that he will pass 70 rules or executive orders on issues like family and medical leave, on issues like allowing truck drivers to drive 14 hours a day. 70 is far more than Reagan, his father, or Clinton. So the scope is fairly alarming. But look, what the president here has done is doubling down on an ideology that he's followed ever since he's been in office, and that is to put the business sector and corporate America first and workers last. And it's the Family and Medical Leave Act. It's allowing the regulation of toxic substances in workplaces to now be relaxed and make it harder. We ought to regulate lead and bloodborne pathogens in the workplace, but apparently the Bush administration wants to make it harder to do that. So this is just a pattern that he's followed for 8 years in terms of where he places workers on his scale of priorities.
Alex, I mean, I'll let you respond to that business versus workers and the alarming scope that Brad spoke of. I'll let you respond.
Look, all of these regulations, taken piece by piece, may sound great, but the more and more you pile them up on each other, they become more of a burden to business. If you look at one of the major problems that the big three automakers are having is that the benefits package for their employers is so burdensome, and it makes them so less able to compete with the car makers that are producing cars in the South that they simply can't afford to do it anymore. Look, we've got cars being made in Mississippi and Tennessee and South Carolina because the car makers can work with the employees and they can afford them down there. But when you pile these regulations and all these massive benefits upon the employees, then it becomes non-sustainable to keep your business alive. So again, they may sound
real
great
quickly,
one
Brad,
by
I'll
one,
let you respond very quickly.
but you pile them on, it becomes very difficult.
Amy, these are regulations, these are rules that have been in place for 8 years. I mean, there's a reason we're seeing this happen, as you said, at midnight in this administration, because these are things that could not have happened, that Congress would have reversed or would have stopped, but they're rushing to do this right here at the end because they think they can get away with it.
Brad Woodhouse, Alex Johnson, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.